How do you ask for a raise? That's today's quick hitter in the Juggernaut Republic. Hey friends, today we're exploring how to most effectively ask for a raise to help guide you up Juggernaut Mountain. So asking for a raise is a strategic proposition, so you gotta plan ahead. There are 3 steps to successfully asking for a raise. The first is do your research. You need to have like a file that shows what you've accomplished since your last raise. So that would include things like correspondence, things like thank you notes from colleagues or from clients, or deals that you've closed, revenues that you've brought in, stuff like that. And you want to keep track of how you're improving because this is the data that you're going to use to create performance markers. And those are going to be markers that you know you can meet because you've already got the data. These markers need to be concrete and measurable. For example, things like I'm going to increase my sales by 10%. And you know you're going to hit that marker because you've already got the data that you've increased your sales by 10%. The second step is to time your ask appropriately. Every office is different, so you need to think about this strategically. For example, does your office do things like annual reviews? Do they, like at these annual reviews, they hand out scheduled raises, stuff like that? Because if they do, then you don't want to ask for a raise like 2 weeks before that meeting, because then they might give you the raise, and then when you have your annual meeting, they won't give you that planned raise because they already gave it to you, and which means you just basically lost out on getting a raise. So you need to plan strategically and think about when you want to do this. And once you know when you want to ask for your raise, you want to ask for a meeting with your supervisor about 2 months prior to that. And then this meeting you have before the raise meeting, you want to tell your supervisor that you want to focus on your professional growth and you want to outline like some goals that you want to meet. And I'm going to say outline 2 goals that you want to meet. Now again, these goals are picked from that data that we mined in the first step because now you know that you can meet them because you've already got the data. Also, consider asking your supervisor to contribute a goal as well. So after about 2 months, and after you've made sure that you've hit those performance markers and those goals that you set, schedule a meeting with your supervisor. This part's important because you don't want to ask for something so significant when there isn't, enough time to talk about it. You don't want your supervisor to be eager like to leave for lunch or to cut you short because they have another meeting or something like that. Get on the calendar and give yourself enough time to be able to have an adequate meeting. The third step, have a clear, concise pitch ready to explain why you deserve a raise. You should have a portfolio that you can give to your supervisor that outlines all your talking points. This is especially important if your supervisor has to go like higher up to get the raise approved or something like that. And there are 3 little points in your presentation. First, you should show professional growth. Remind your supervisor of the goals that you set with them and show them the concrete data that you met those goals. That should include all the data you accumulated showing what you bring to the company. That would be things like sales or clients or whatever, whatever it might be. Second, show concrete examples of interpersonal growth. Have examples of correspondence, like thank you notes from colleagues, from clients, and so on, that illustrates that not only do you bring in things like revenue, but you also do a good job of representing the business and the community. Both of these things is the data that you had in that first step. And lastly, have a specific number for the raise in mind. Again, it's good to have research. Show what other individuals are making with similar job descriptions. If you're asking for a raise that is more than what other people make, then ask for a nominal promotion. This will change your title and it will also change things like your responsibilities that will be in line with the salary that you're now requesting and what you bring to the company. And you need to realize, though, now that it's very possible they're going to offer you a raise less than what you request, so consider baking that into your ask. If you want an 8% raise, then ask for a 10% raise and then be willing to negotiate down to the 8%, which is what you wanted anyway. And who knows, maybe they'll give you, the 10% that you asked for. And that's it. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section. Which of these steps do you think will be the most helpful when you next ask for a raise? Be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications button so that you'll know when we upload new videos. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide through this stage of Juggernaut Mountain. And until next time, ABC, always be climbing.